Many new options are available in the Phantom Liberty 550 for Cyberpunk 2077, but some of them work best in EDIs. The Cyberpunk 2077 experience has a ton of new content added by the Phantom Liberty 550, and the game's vehicle library is one that has seen a sizable improvement. One of the highlights of the game is cruising through Night City's streets or barreling across the Badlands, so having more options than ever is a welcome change. There are some additions in Phantom Liberty that stand out as the best choices to spend hard-earned eddies on because not all cars and bikes are created equal. In Phantom Liberty, making progress is sometimes necessary before unlocking new vehicle options because certain DLC opening tasks must be finished before some new fixer contracts can appear. However, getting the vehicles isn't any more difficult than it was in the base game, and a new auto-fixer system offers a way to greatly simplify things. Naturally, there will be some edits, but determining which vehicles should be the top priorities can reduce some of the pressure that comes with trying to invest in everything you see. Villefort Deleon Vindicator. The Villefort Deleon Vindicator is a worthy addition to the Phantom Liberty vehicle lineup in Cyberpunk 2077, but it falls short of standing out among the very best. However, it strikes a nice balance between rigidity and slickness, giving the interior and exterior a genuinely pleasing aesthetic. The name, however, may be a little overstated, as this model can hardly defend itself against anything other than snide remarks. Villefort Alvarado V4FH 570 Herman. In Cyberpunk 2077, the Villefort Alvarado was already a significant status symbol, and the V4FH 570 Herman amps up the opulent extravagance. The Herman limousine extends the cab back over the trunk, making it the limousine to have for those who aren't concerned with cost and maintenance, despite having an overall appearance that is similar to standard Alvarado models. Even though the extra space may not be of much use in the game, simply knowing that it exists contributes to a sense of arrogant superiority. Makigai Tanishikuma. The most recent Makigai model introduced in Cyberpunk 2077 may not be at the pinnacle of cool in terms of luxury, but this car's sheer utility gives it a wow factor. The Tanishikuma has significant off-road potential, whereas Makigai is intended for city streets and primarily focused on being as compact as possible for pure maneuverability. This all-terrain 4x4 is capable of navigating amphibious environments with ease. In Cyberpunk 2077, this may not be the most abundant environment, but anyone who intends to travel through a swamp would be well served by picking up the new Makigai. Thornton Colby Vulture. The Thornton Colby Vulture is the ideal vehicle for a one-man army, and militarism has a significant historical influence in the Dogtown neighborhood of Phantom Liberty. It is just one of many combat-oriented vehicles in Cyberpunk 2077. But as demonstrated by Swaney Plays Games on YouTube, it stands out for having a particularly menacing appearance. The name Vulture suggests a scavenger role, but this is a true predator, outfitted with a mounted missile launcher that should make any adversary of a Vulture owner shudder. Hellhound. The Thornton Colby Vulture stands out on the road due to its offensive prowess. The Hellhound accomplishes the same feat through its unmistakable defensive strength. The exterior of this fortress on wheels, which appears nearly impenetrable, puts the current standards for armored cars to shame. This beast is supported by 6 enormous wheels with thick treads, and it can rain down hell from the skies on anyone stupid enough to drive close by. The visibility from the interior is, unsurprisingly, not the best of any Phantom Liberty vehicle, making this the best option for third-person driving. Quadra Sport R7 Chiaroscuro. The Phantom Liberty 550 for Cyberpunk 2077 features 2 unique models of the Quadra Sport R7, each of which brings a different aesthetic to the road. The Chiaroscuro name, which refers to the intensity of contrast between hard shadow and light that frequently characterizes noir's distinctive atmosphere, is ideal for lovers of the noir influences that help define the cyberpunk genre. This car also has a touch of kit from Knight Rider, which helps it perform a double duty in terms of nostalgia. Thornton Merrimack Warlock. The Thornton Merrimack Warlock offers a nice alternative if 6 wheels sound appealing, but the Hellhound is a little too much. This time, the extra set of wheels is placed at the back to support a sizable trunk. Additionally, it's a powerful defensive vehicle that slightly reduces the bulk, giving the impression that the driver is simply trying to rule the road rather than hauling a stash of gold to the bank. Mizutani Hazuki Hoski. Even though the Hazuki Hoski's wide appeal isn't the highest of any in the new DLC, it will be an easy favorite for the right audience. This expertly captures and modernizes the appeal of the Japanese coupes that dominated drift racing in the 1990s, giving the streets of Night City an angular but stylish retro flair. It performs equally well in that regard, squealing appropriately as it turns and requiring dexterity to make sharp turns. Herrera Riptide Terrier. The Herrera Riptide Terrier is all about nostalgia, paying homage to the car that initially caused the automaker to go bankrupt. The Terrier, however, is competitive on the streets of Night City and is tuned to powerful efficacy beneath its traditional exterior. This resembles Phantom Liberty's take on the DMC DeLorean, a vehicle that made headlines for all the wrong reasons before becoming incredibly popular and beloved decades after its disastrous debut. Mizutani Samum. Anyone who prefers to spend time outside of Night City rather than in the city should make the Mizutani Samum their top priority pickup, since it is a vehicle for the Badlands. This makes it a particularly adaptable model because it strikes a reasonable balance between the tankiness of some militaristic vehicles, the sleekness of futuristic coupes, and the ruggedness of an off-roader. There is no reason not to purchase this fantastic Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty vehicle, since it has offensive capabilities in the form of a front-mounted missile launcher,